Hey Gemini, what's up gang? Hope everybody is well. We're gonna go ahead and do your November preview. So if that's something that interests you, do stick around. Gemini, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jessica. Please take a look at my description box. That's going to have all the information that you would need to know. And yes, this is a Gemini channel. However, if you have vibe, you tribe, so go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Gemini, if you're returning, welcome back. I hope that you're well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I do hope that you're doing what's best for you, boo. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Gemini, thank you for all the good vibes. It really does mean the world, okay? So let's go ahead and get into this. As you can see, we're doing things a little bit differently this month. I wanted to try something new, do something new. If you remember the remainder of the year reading that I did a couple months back, I pulled out piles for each of the months, and I've done the same thing basically for this. So we have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, different themes, different things we need to pay attention to or what we can expect. And there should be footage right after this intro of the shuffling process, so that way you guys can see how it all took place. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to do an animal message, okay? For your intuitive message, we do have the poison, and I heard sucking out the poison, okay? So you could have been dealing with something. This could be an actual illness, an actual health crisis, or this could be something spiritual. Something has been definitely draining your energy, okay? It feels like a negative energy. You know, maybe you've been being plagued by something. Maybe you feel like you've been under attack for some of you guys, but I do feel like that's easing off this November. It's like we're sucking out the poison. We're getting rid of the toxic energies around us and within us, right? So if there's been anything that's been dragging you down, weighing you down, it's like you're letting that go. This can also be an anger card, and I feel like you are letting go of some kind of anger here. I am getting that theme of like, it is what it is, and it was what it was, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Like there's a level of acceptance that's coming over for November, you know, accepting things as they are and understanding what we can control versus what we can't control, right? But also maybe the anger in something has been, you know, settling like a toxin or like a poison within you, causing you to maybe hang on and ruminate and be, you know, bitter and upset. And it's like, that's just too heavy, right? It's too heavy. And there's an energy of wanting to release that. So yeah, I do feel like that's what's coming through. Now let's get an animal message. Okay, we have the snake. So the snake talks about untapped potential, right? And so some of you guys could be having an awakening here. This could be something that has already been taking place, but there is definitely an awakening of sorts that's happening for you in November. It does feel like you're healing from something as well, because the snake does talk about healing energy for me personally. It can also talk about spirituality or messages, wisdom coming through. And so I do feel like there is some kind of wisdom that you're going to acquire that's going to help you heal within a situation. Okay. Now snakes slither very closely to the ground. So when I think of snake energy, it always makes me feel like, you know, maybe keeping a low profile or maybe grounding yourself. You know, there could be some kind of isolation, solitude that's coming through, but it's because you're protecting something. You could have a lot of creative ideas or a lot of, you know, ideas in general, right? Epiphanies that are coming through in November, and Spirit is asking you to protect these things, okay? So that way that the potential can grow. Snakes also talk about shedding skins, right? Evolving. And I do feel like that's something that's taking place here. In November, we're letting go of something for once and for all. And it feels like with this shed of the skin, we're finding that we're a new, more evolved version of ourselves. You know, we're still the same person, but we are evolving, we are growing and changing. And of course, when, you know, we've talked about the snake shedding process before, it can be quite uncomfortable. It can actually be very irritating for the snake. And they can tend to isolate and stay in their hides and refuse to eat and don't go out and do their nightly activities. I know, because my snake, he becomes very quiet around his shed. He'll stay in one of his hides, and he won't do his nightly stuff of climbing and falling off of things and scaring me half to death in the middle of the night when I hear commotion in his cage. Like, he's actually, you know, they say ball pythons are just like lumps of nothing, like just sit there all day, but actually at night they become quite active. So yeah, I feel like there's something here where maybe you have just been kind of pulling back your energy, and it's because you're going through this awakening or this shedding of this skin, okay? So the snake says, guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that the Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke up to it? How could you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher could lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. When in balance, prosperous, creative, and charismatic. When out of balance, starts and stops many things. To bring into balance, yoga or meditation. So maybe some of you guys have been drawn into meditating, or you will be in November, taking quiet moments to yourself, reflecting. You might be doing a lot of your manifestation through meditation, but I do get the energy of like an epiphany or, a revelation or something that comes over you where suddenly you see something clearly. And I feel also like there is all this untapped potential or unprocessed energy that you are allowing to just reside within you. It's like this is an unstoppable force. For some of you, this could represent a Kundalini awakening, okay? But it does feel like something is coming up to the surface. Something is rising to the surface that was laying dormant before. And with this, a lot of creativity, a lot of imagination, a lot of energy is coming through as well. So make sure that if you're having a lot of ideas in November, you're writing these things down so that way, if you forget them and move on to the next idea, you still have that somewhere because you could be processing a lot. If you're not doing a dream journal, we talk about this often. Start a dream journal. It's actually really helpful. I have a dream journal that I started a couple months back, and it's kind of crazy sometimes to go read through my dreams that I've, forgotten. And I'm just like, oh wow, I did dream about that. It's crazy, So that could be something that could be very helpful, because I do feel like for some of you, there's a lot of signs and synchronicities that are going to be coming through in November. And it's important that you are able to understand these, process these, remember these, because I'm getting the energy of a lot of information coming in fast. And so one thing comes and then it's gone. And the next thing comes and then it's gone. So if you don't put it somewhere, write it down, it's going to just disappear, right? And go back into the nothingness. So yeah, there's something there with that. Also, for some of you guys, there could be a message coming through this month that maybe you've been playing it small in some area. Maybe you haven't been allowing yourself to rise to your full potential for whatever reason. Maybe there's been this energy of wanting to play it safe, or just, not knowing how you can take things to the next level. But I feel like what's happening in November is that you're going to see that this potential is there for you to make something big, okay? Now, I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff because the board's not like it usually is. We don't have a lot of room on here today. So we'll put it there, but we can see the snake, so we see that it's there, okay? Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's get you some numbers for the month of November. These numbers could be significant already, or they could show up as confirmation throughout the month for this reading. We have 19. We have 14. We have 18, lots of teens. We have 10, and then one more. We have 6. Shout out to my June Geminis, okay? All right, guys, so let's go ahead and break this down. We're going to do this 1 week at a time here, starting with the first week, obviously. We have Beryl. It says, you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals, stuck in a rut, depletion, lack energy, okay? And just be patient with me, guys, because I don't know exactly how I'm going to lay all the cards out yet. We have let go. We have rain. Okay. Emotional release, self-care, purge, cleansing, purification, and hydration. Okay. Making sense so far. We have Master Manifester, card number 10. We have saving grace. You may need to grin and bear it to maintain respect and keep your job, or you may need to smile and make nice to get the position that you want. Okay. I'm getting messages already, because I want to keep everything out. Okay, and then we have intuition. All right. So Gemini, I'm getting that you intuitively know that it's time to release some things in your life. The first week of November, that's what we're getting, right? We're feeling this energy of lack. We're feeling this energy of like, I'm just not satisfied. If things could be great. You could be in a perfectly fine relationship, a perfectly fine working situation, a perfectly fine environment, but there's something that feels like it's missing inside. There's something that just does not feel like it's fitting into place, okay? I do feel like you are manifesting. So keep that in mind. And it's funny because I told a client this the other day. We don't always just only manifest through positive energy. Because I'm not one of those people that, subscribes to that toxic positivity bullshit where you have to be happy 24/7. That's just not realistic, and that's not life, But we talk to spirit through our vibrational frequency. And so we're not just talking to spirit when we're happy. We're talking to spirit when we're unhappy as well. So when we have these, reoccurring thoughts or vibrations in ourselves of, oh my God, I don't want to go to this job. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to clock in. I don't care. I wish that this would change. I wish that something new would come into my life. We're actually speaking to Spirit. And so Spirit is working behind the scenes to help us manifest these changes that we so desperately desire. And that's what this feels like for you. You are manifesting a new beginning here, Gemini. And there's this in-between phase. It makes me feel like when you get a haircut, like you cut your hair really short and you want to grow it out. And then there's that like awkward in-between phase where it looks all funky and everything before it actually falls into place. That's kind of what I feel like the first week of November is feeling like for you. You're not where you were, but you're also not where you want to be. And you're in some kind of in-between gooey stage, right? It's giving me the energy of the caterpillar in a cocoon, but it's not still like a solid caterpillar, and it also hasn't transformed into a butterfly. It's some kind of goo in the middle, and it doesn't know, right, what to expect or what to do. Spirit is saying now is a good time to focus on self-care. The first week of November is going to be an excellent time to turn that energy to yourself. Read, okay? Eat nice foods, enjoy warm drinks, listen to music, draw, take part in your hobbies, right? Play with your pets, play with your kids, whatever it is that brings the simple pleasures of life to you. This is going to be the perfect week to do that as you're releasing energetically the things that need to be released. Because you are. That's the thing, right? Let go. And we saw that with the poison energy. You are letting go of something the first week of November. It could be a lot of things. It could be a lot of things kind of accumulated into one, right? But there is this energy of maybe holding on to things with the snake energy that haven't been actually prosperous or conducive to our growth, conducive to our path and where we want to go, right? Now, the saving face, I don't know if I said saving grace before, but I didn't mean to say that. Saving face is what it is. I don't have my glasses on, so bear with me. The saving face card makes me feel like you're kind of wearing a mask to the world the first week of November. You're not really letting other people see, who you truly are or how you're truly feeling right now. You could definitely be putting on this act of like, I'm okay, everything's great, taking care of business every day, right? That's what I come in here to do. I'm getting the energy of like a mover, a shaker. You're doing everything that you gotta do. You're playing the role. You're shaking the babies and holding the hands and all this stuff. And, you're smiling and you're showing up to meetings and you're, I'm on top of that, Rose, right? And you're on the phone and you're doing your thing, you're talking to clients or whatever. Like you're really playing the role because you're so good at it, right? It's like second nature to you. You could do it with your hands closed and your eyes tied behind your back. You know how to play this role, okay? But deep inside, right, where other people are not able to see, Gemini, when we peel back the layers, there is a discontentment. There is like a feeling of like, I just want more, and I feel like I'm meant for more. And I feel like something's lacking. I feel like I'm stuck in a rut. I feel like things are just not happening the way that I want. And Spirit's saying, let these feelings come and go, right? Don't hold on to anything. Let it come and go. Because this releasing process, letting go of this, intuitively you know that this is helping you manifest. This is helping you bring yourself closer to whatever it is that you are trying to create. Once we let go of this stagnant energy, or once we let go of, all these things that are kind of taking up the space within us energetically, we're going to have more room to release this untapped potential that the snake talks about. Okay. But as long as we're kind of holding on to things from the past or holding on to disappointments or, not letting the energy flow, because sometimes we can stuff things down way down deep inside and we're like, I'm not going to look at that until I'm ready to look at it. But the time is now, because again, the more that you hold on, people, places, things, the more energy blocks that you create. And that's what the snake is all about. Removing those energy blocks so that way we can move forward. And that's what the first week of November is all about, okay? I also feel like the first week of November is going to be very intuitive for you. You may not see a lot of the things that you're feeling inside. You may not see confirmation physically of the signs that you're getting from the divine either, but you will intuitively feel a lot of what I'm talking about, okay? So we have a lot to get through, so let's keep it moving. I don't feel necessarily, do I need to clarify anything? Because I do have a tarot deck on standby just in case. Yeah, let's just really quickly, what are we letting go of? What is Gemini gang letting go of the first week of November, please? What is Gemini gang letting go of? Yeah, I feel like the energy of trying to make things happen, right? With the Three of Wands, because I feel like there's been a level of control here. Okay. And the Three of Wands talks about manifesting. It talks about delays and waiting, but it also talks about, trying to control circumstances because we're planning, we're strategizing with the Three of Wands. Also, some of you guys could be letting go of waiting. You know, maybe you have been waiting on someone or something and you're like, this is a lost cause, clearly. I've been waiting in vain, you know? And you can be like that old woman by the sea that sits out her window and just waits for somebody that's never going to come, you know? They're giving me the energy from Practical Magic, which is an excellent movie, as most of us know. Perfect movie for this time of year. But they're talking about how, like, that woman, when she got, you know, pregnant by that guy, and like the whole village like shunned her because she was a witch and all that stuff. Y'all know the story, but for those who don't, they banished her off to an island, and she was pregnant, so she had to like build a house there and build a life there, and she kept waiting and waiting and waiting for her lover, the guy that got her pregnant, to come. Like, surely he's gonna come and rescue her or build a life with her there or something, right? But he never showed up. And so she ends up getting so like heartbroken and distraught that she curses her entire family line, that anybody who loves one of them, any man who loves one of them, he'll meet an untimely death or whatever. So there's some kind of vibe of that, for them to show me that there's some kind of vibe of that. But what Spirit is saying is it doesn't have to get that far. Like, you're smart enough to understand when you've reached your limit, or when something is not what you thought it was, or maybe there was illusions that was cast around something, you know, because we do have the saving face, the mask. Maybe somebody wasn't who you thought they were, or who they portrayed themselves to be. Maybe a situation wasn't. But either way, what we're letting go of is waiting for something. Okay, waiting for to see those sails on the horizon that aren't going to be there. Okay, so that's an interesting message. I'm not going to keep the clarifying cards out because, if we need to clarify other piles, but we also have the Lovers on the bottom. So yeah, some of you guys, maybe you had an idea of somebody that was, meant to be in your life, or a situation that was meant to bring you something, and it's just not. Spirit's saying that's okay. That doesn't mean that there's not anything better for you. In fact, I feel like there is. There's something that's been being kept safe with this snake, or there's some kind of untapped potential here, but we have to let go of whatever this is. And this is an act of self-care to actually let go of this. Yes, thank you, Spirit. For confirmation, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. Spirit is saying something is changing. Something is coming in. So if this was talking about a partner or a person, you're getting one that's even better. Not that the other person wasn't, but clearly they weren't. Clearly they weren't in alignment for you, or they weren't the one for you, or they didn't see the worth or value here, right? So you're finding somebody that will. If this is talking about a business situation or a life situation, you will be leveled up. And it's going to happen very unexpectedly, but you have to do your part of energetically releasing and clearing, okay? So excellent first week, in my personal opinion. You guys know I'm not afraid of doing the healing work. I'm not afraid of taking the deep dive. And that's what this feels like the first week, okay? So let's see what else we have here. Second week, things are already looking up. We have the Bull, plenty of material things, shopping, redecorating, and a glow up. We have intuition. Interesting, we have intuition the first week, intuition the second week. Clearly your intuition is going to be speaking to you all of November, which I love this time of year. The autumn going into the winter, I really do think that it activates my spiritual abilities or something. I don't know. It just makes things it just feels, I like the vibes. Anyways, we have Carnelian, vitality, passion, drive, taking action, energy, leadership, and creativity. Okay. We have no expectations, card number 22. So twos could be significant. You could be seeing a lot of twos this week. This is the second week, right? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 could be significant. We have protection. You are being protected from deceit and from situations that no longer serve you. Lie low for a while. You may be, you will be shown the truth. Interesting. Okay. Put that there. And then last but not least, we have consciousness, which is spirit. Okay, so let's get all this in order, guys. Excuse me. Okay, so second week, things are looking up. Second week, we're getting some kind of clarity here. We're feeling a little bit better about things too. I feel like the first week is a heavy week of purging, and moving into the second week, we're like, okay, well, we don't sit here and cry over spilt milk for too long, right? So let's see what else we can do. Let's see what else we got going on here, right? Your intuition is telling you that you have something that's within your reach, or that's in your hands too. Some of you guys, if you do have spiritual abilities, you could be, those spiritual abilities could be increasing. You could feel feel very connected to spirit with that consciousness energy, okay? In fact, I feel like you might even be able to be reading between the lines here, or you have a built-in lie detector that will be going off in regards to people around you, because we do have a sneaky person with the protection. It feels like there could be somebody around you that does not have your best interest at heart, or they're playing both sides. I don't know, take that as it resonates. Maybe they're taking the things that you say and going and telling other people, or maybe there was some kind of fakeness, falsehood, something going on, but you're going to find out about that. And I do feel like your intuition is going to be playing a key role in you figuring that out. Either way, we're moving on and we have a new zest for life, and there's energy that's getting built up here this second week of November, okay? Carnelian is one of my favorite crystals. You guys know that. I'm not somebody who necessarily believes in the magical powers of crystals, but I do believe that everything on this planet has an energy, and I love the energy of the carnelian, okay? It's just something that makes me feel like a zest for life and passion and all that good stuff. So something's burning bright inside of you the second week of November, and you're ready. You could also be seeing some kind of pay raise, or maybe an increase in clients and people booking your services, or more hours, more shifts, something here. Maybe a bonus is coming in, maybe some extra money. Maybe somebody asks you, hey, could you help me move furniture from my house? I'll give you $100. And you're like, sure thing, right? There's money somehow coming in with the plenty of material things. There is a level up or upgrade that's happening. It's funny because it happens quite quickly from the first week to the second week. Usually there's more time in between. That lets me know that whatever this is that you're releasing, it's like you've been waiting to release it for a while. They're showing me a lot of movies today about witches too, which is interesting. Maybe it's just the season. I don't know. But they're showing me that movie, The Covenant, where the guy is battling the other guy. Finally, at the end, his mother convinces his dad to release his power to him, because dad's old and decrepit and can't even get out of bed anyway. So he might as well give him his magical abilities, right? And so he's like, I release my power, right, to you, or whatever. I will my power, will you my power, whatever he says. And it like boosts this guy's abilities while he's fighting the other guy, and he's able to beat him. There's something here where it's like that release was so powerful. It was something that his dad probably should have done a long time ago, right? But he did it in perfect timing, in divine timing. And I feel like that's the situation here. Like energetically, there was something with the first week that you should have released this or moved on from this a long time ago. You know, and there's no shame or blame here, guys. We're all human, and the heart wants what it wants, or sometimes we can be stubborn and we can be hard-headed and we can only see one vision for ourselves, but we've moved on from that, right? And very quickly too. It's like we hit the ground running with something here. And in the second week, it's like we don't have any expectations over the future, but we know whatever it is, we have the key. The key also reminds me of that card in this deck that says no fear, or face your fears, or whatever, and it shows the key. Facing your fear, moving out of your comfort zone, stepping into your north node is always going to be the key for your success. You could be close to opening a door to opportunity here, but you are going to need to step out of your comfort zone and face some kind of fear. Now, I feel like for some reason I'm getting a lot of dream energy the second week of November with this consciousness. I feel like there's something that it's like you're coming into consciousness, or there's something that is, it's like a truth that's coming, a truth that's developing, which is interesting because we see that on this card too. You will be shown the truth, but I actually feel like this is deeper than just deceitful people around you. It feels like something where it's like your consciousness is awakening to an ultimate truth about life, about yourself, about your path, about spirit, something here about everything that is in existence. I know that sounds a little out there, but that's what I'm getting. Like there's a big truth that's settling in on your heart. Maybe there's been some weariness in your philosophies or your belief systems, especially when we go through a dark night. It's actually quite common to kind of, you know, shift or falter in our faith, or not be sure what we believe anymore, or if any of this is real, or even if God is real, if, you know, if we have souls, if we go to heaven, hell, like that's very common when you go through a dark night of the soul, because everything is being questioned, right? But it's like maybe you are coming down to some kind of philosophy here in the second week of November, like something is settling. And it's like you have a stronger sense of faith or something, or like there's an energy here of like, okay, I'm settled in what I believe. I know that this is it now. I don't know. Take that as it resonates, but that is what I'm getting here. Either way, the second week of November, we see a lot of passion, we see a lot of drive, okay? Now, obviously, I want to look into this protection card. I feel like everything else we kind of know what this is talking about, but the protection says you are being protected from deceit and from situations that no longer serve you. Lie low for a while and you will be shown the truth. So Spirit is saying that, you know, sometimes when you want people to show you who they are, you just need to be quiet. Just need to listen. People will reveal, people will tell their truths, or they'll show you who they are, right? So some of you guys, that could be it. Maybe you're, you know, at the office or in your family or around people. Maybe you're just, you know, sitting back and watching people or watching situations, you know, or maybe doing nothing. Like maybe if you do nothing, you'll see the truth, you know, or maybe if somebody else is doing nothing, like that'll show you the truth. There's something here where the truth is showing itself to you. So take that as it resonates. I do feel like for some of you, you might have felt like you were under attack with the Seven of Wands. Which there could have been a spiritual attack, especially if you were in some kind of dark night, because I know from personal experience, the darkness loves to get me when I'm down and kick me when I'm down. That's when I'm at my weakest, I guess, right? Can't come to me when I'm at my strongest because it don't want this smoke, believe me. But there's this energy here of like, maybe when you're down or something, that's when this attack has taken place, okay? This does not have to be the heebie-jeebie. I know we've been picking up on a lot of witch stuff for some reason, but this does not have to be the heebie-jeebie. This could be the dark forces, right? It could be the darkness that just is checking for you, checking for your light. But whatever this is, there could be some kind of spiritual warfare going on. Yes, the high priestess could be a high priestess, but does not have to be. There could be somebody, a dark practitioner or something. I don't say that stuff very often, guys, but I got to give you the energy that I'm getting. I feel like for some of you guys, there might have been a snake around you, where there's been somebody who's been doing some kind of dark work. This is going to be revealed. Let me get my drink. I got a new coffee cup, guys. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to turn it without it spilling, but it says, I'm a little ray of pitch black. Resonates, right? Anyways, okay, let's keep it moving, guys. What is this protection here? What is this protection? What is this for Gemini, the second week of November? What is this protection here? We have the Death, Scorpio energy, and we are in Scorpio energy, okay? With the Eight of Wands, yeah, somebody or something was trying to cause disruption in your life. This is ending. You've been protected, whether you're aware of this or not. Okay, you're being protected by all costs is what I'm getting. I'm getting the energy of Spirit protecting you by any means necessary. This could have been a Scorpio personally that was trying to stir up some crap in your life. But either way, this cord has been cut. Also, if there was like a negative attachment that you had from possibly a past life, okay, for some of you guys, this is a karmic energy, or again, it's just the darkness. I can't not stop checking for you. There's something that's finally ending. A cycle is approaching here. This person who was trying to cause these endings for you, or trying to delay your transformation or stop your transformation, this is ending. There could be things ending for them in their life. There could be the energy of like bad things are happening to them. And you guys know I don't really like to talk about karma because I don't like that kind of energy. I don't want people to suffer. But there's that feeling of like when people say things about you or think negative things about you, or God forbid, do some kind of heebie-jeebie work on you, or whatever. It's like there's instant karma. So maybe they trip and fall. Maybe they stub their toe. Maybe, you know, their check is delayed or something, or maybe their car has issues, or I don't know, right? I don't like to put that stuff out there in the energy, but that's the kind of energy I'm getting. Like for somebody here who's been trying, or who has negative intentions towards you and has been purposely trying to hurt you, purposely trying to throw you off, purposely trying to end things for you, there's instant karma that's coming through. And again, talking crap about you behind your back does count, because that's evil eye. That's an unintentional, perhaps, evil eye. But when you're talking nasty things out of your mouth about other people, some people say that languages are spells, right? Words are spells. So if you're talking negative things about people behind their back or to their face or whatever, you're putting that negative energy out there into the world, you know, and that energy could reach this person. So it is looked at as evil eye, intentionally or unintentionally, okay? And I do feel like there could be some people who have been talking crap about you, but you know, what else is new? Okay, what else is new here? Yeah, Four of Wands, you're being protected. Your house is being protected. I'm hearing your vitality, your creativity, your gifts, your money, your kids, like anything that you hold near and dear is being protected. And you will have some kind of celebration here, is what Spirit's saying. There will be a celebration for you. Yeah, from what? The devil? Okay, he's like, you rang. Yeah, I feel like there's been something very oppressive. Could be from a Capricorn, doesn't have to be, but there's been something very oppressive. It's like this is being released, you know, and you're being protected from this. So we like to see that. Let's go ahead and keep it moving like Susan, because we got a lot to get through. Okay. All right. So third week of November. And some of these cards, as you saw in the pre-shuffle, I saw some of them I didn't. So I don't know. Caterpillar, things will not always be this way. A change is coming. Prepping ahead of time and gathering resources. We have anger. Interesting. Okay. We have the Cauldron. Manifestation, steering the pot, Coven energy, creation, opportunity, and caring. Okay. We have card number 42, transformation. All right. Make sure you guys can see pretty much all the cards. We have short term. This position is temporary, so don't be too attached to it. No worries. You will find something that's even more fulfilling and prosperous. Okay. I like that. And then last but not least, we have growth. All right. Well, okay. So first of all, the way the anger came out in reverse, I really do actually feel like it kind of meant to be that way. Like for a lot of you, there is a releasing of anger. But if we're in the second week finding out that somebody has been deceiving us or somebody has been betraying us, it would make sense that the third week we're feeling some kind of anger, right? And maybe we're feeling like somebody has stirred the pot on purpose here with the cauldron, or somebody has involved themselves in your business when they didn't need to, right? There is a feeling of backstabbery or betrayal or hateration in the dancery, okay? There's something like that going on. It could be 3 people involved with the 3 spoons. It feels like that for some of you guys, right? But I also do get the message of the anger being reversed. Like, you know, you letting go of something, like deciding that it's not worth your energy. It's not worth your time. You're too blessed to be stressed, right? You're too blessed to worry about other people and their shenanigans, or if they're hating on you. Oh, well, right? What else is new? That's kind of the energy that's coming through here, because you have so much to look forward to. First of all, you have a lot of things that are signifying change and growth that's going to be imminent or taking place very soon, right? It's funny that in the beginning of this reading, we talked about the caterpillar and now we see it. Because I don't remember seeing that during the pre-shuffle, but maybe I did. I don't know. But yeah, there's something here where you are prepping for the future. You're getting ready for the future because you know intuitively that things are changing. Something is not going to be the way that it's always been. There's going to be some kind of change on the horizon. You know that whatever you're dealing with right now, it's short term, whether this is a connection, whether this is a feeling, whether this is an energy, a habit, a work environment, a situation, whatever. There's something here that's short term. It's not meant to last forever. And Spirit's saying, you know, don't be too attached to it and don't worry, because you're going to find something that's more fulfilling and more prosperous for you. That's really mimicking off that energy in the first week, because the first week you're kind of realizing that something was just not meant to last, or something, you know, you need to let go of, right? And that there could be something more fulfilling that's out there for you. It's interesting because we have growth that's happening as well, right? So the third week of November, we're seeing a lot of growth. We see creation, we see opportunity for growth, opportunity for manifestation here. And a lot of this could be happening through the transformation that's happening within you. You know, when we look at this transformation card, we see a phoenix, okay? Phoenix rising. A rebirth that's possible for you, a rebirth that's going to happen, you know? And they're giving me the energy of like when all the leaves fall off of the trees, right? And if you didn't know any better, you'd think those trees were dead and they were done for, right? But then in spring, we start to sprout new growth. There's something that it's like new growth is happening, or it's possible. The opportunities are endless here the third week of November. And you are very much aware that something is not going to be the same way that it is now forever, okay? So I want to clarify. I want to find out what this anger is about, because that's really the only card that's sticking out to me. But considering the events of the second week, it makes sense to me, especially if you're dealing with a group of people. Maybe there's gang stalking going on, or maybe there's people who just won't let up. Like they always got to say something. They always got to do something. They always got to enforce their opinion or their will on something. Like they can't just let it go. They got to stir the pot. They got to try to poke at you, poke the bear. That's kind of what I'm getting for the third week. Okay. What is this anger energy for Gemini for the third week of November? Ooh, yeah, sail away. I was correct. See? I know my intuition. I know what I be feeling. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I was getting. I feel like you just don't give a fuck, right? In your M&M voice. I feel like you're moving on from something. And you know, Geminis, I know because I'm obviously a Gemini since birth. We can hold on. We can hold on. We can hold a grudge. We can refuse to accept reality. We can refuse to let go. But there is one thing about Geminis, is that when we're done, we are finally done. And that will be it, you know? And so it's just up to us. It's on our terms, right? It's when we decide that we're finally done. It's when we decide to let go. And I do feel like you're sailing away from any kind of anger. You just don't feel the point of putting that energy into it. Like it's not worth the time. It's not worth the energy. So if you're finding out that on the second week that somebody has been betraying you, I'm getting the energy of like, Gemini, you went through so many betrayals by now. You went through, and like just in life, right? Like you went through so many betrayals. You went through so many people who have turned out not to be who, you know, they acted like they were. And you've been through so much that it's just like, okay, I'm just happy that I didn't spend more time wasting my energy on this, right? Or I'm just happy that I know now, because now in the clarity of knowing, I can let it go and I can move forward, okay? So there's something like that happening the third week of November, where the anger that you've been feeling about something, you know, deuces, right? You know, I say about this card all the time. She looks like she's throwing up the peace sign, deuces, right? I gotta keep it drama free, okay? There's something like that where it's just like, yeah, it's not worth my energy. And it feels very strongly related to a work situation, guys, but it could be a friendship, family, a love situation, take it as it resonates. But it does feel like it's surrounding work. Also, I'm not sure if the third week is Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure it's like the third Thursday of the month is Thanksgiving or something like that. I should definitely know that by now. So there could be something surrounding family, right? And Spirit's saying, hey, you're not going to have to be around family for long. You're not going to have to deal with this craziness or this chaoticness for long. Yeah, people like to stir the pot. They like to talk out of their mouth. They like to talk shit and say something or whatever, you know. But you can control your anger and you can let something go. You don't have to play their game or whatever. Like if you have a family that likes to antagonize you or likes to bring up things that you don't want to talk about, or if you have like siblings that are jealous and they like to compete or anything like that, right? Like you don't have to stress about that. It's very short term, you know, literally it's like 1 or 2 days or a week at best if you spend a lot of time with your family during the holidays, and then we can move on. It's giving that kind of energy here, okay? So I like to see the Six of Swords for that. Yeah, it's like you're holding your own hand here. And you're staying very strong and solid within your own sense of presence. It's like, I got me, you know, looking at your busted ass twin, right? That's frothing at the mouth, that would love to cuss everyone the fuck out, right? At this family function, like you're looking at that busted twin and you're holding her hand and you're saying, we got this. You know, we don't got to cuss people out. We don't need to do that no more, okay? There's something like that here for you on the third week of November, okay? Okay, anything, look, it wanted to come right back out. Spirit's like, no, I said what I said. Okay, so for some of you, if there's any kind of low vibing energy here, we're moving beyond that, and you are finding solace in other people. Like there are people that you can depend on. There are people that you're going to feel communion with, you know, but it's very small and few in between. I also find it very interesting that I said stirring the pot. I said there could be 3 people involved in stirring the pot or involved in something, and then we have the 3 of Cups. Just something to consider, right? We also have 3 people on this card too. So I don't know, 3 people or 3 is significant somehow for somebody. 3 is also the number of the Empress. So maybe that's why people are trying to come up against you, because they see your power or your potential here. There could also be this energy too of people who are trying to cause problems for you, seeing that they're not able to, seeing how protected you are, and deciding to sail away on their own accord, okay? So interesting. I probably should have said this at the beginning, because who knows if y'all are even still here at this point, but let me know if you guys like this format, okay? We have, for the 4th week of November, Goldfish, an increase in material wealth or spiritual growth, sign-on bonus, overnight success, and viral, okay? For your emotion, we have change. We have nice, fruit, achievement, success, results, and viral recognition. 2 cards saying viral. Ooh, something's happening the 4th week of November, y'all. For sure, okay? Next, we have card number 3. I just said 3 was significant, so there is something there. Evolve into your complexity with the octopus. Okay, we'll put that little buddy there. We have the unfolding. Access to greater prosperity is opening up for you slowly. You are growing as you learn more and keep expanding. Okay. So something is growing, something is unfolding here the 4th week. And then we have anxiety, right? Because it wouldn't be just a day on earth without anxiety, at least for me. Anxiety comes through day and night. Okay. So, yeah, there is some kind of growth that's happening here on the 4th week. Something is happening quickly, actually. It's like it's suddenly picked up. Okay, you may be asked to produce some kind of results. You may be asked to kind of step out of your comfort zone with the octopus. Evolving into your complexity always makes me feel like you're more than what you think you are, or you're more capable than what you feel like you are. You have a lot of talents, a lot of skills, maybe a lot of hidden talents that are going to be coming to the surface that can bring some kind of growth or recognition in. When I think about octopus, I also think about how they're great escape artists, right? They can get themselves out of pretty much any kind of container they're put in. I don't know if you ever watched those videos where the octopus is like put into like a jar and they like unscrew the top from the inside out with their suction cups or whatever. Yeah, so they're actually very crafty and very handy, okay? No pun intended. They also are extremely intelligent. Octopus are extremely intelligent. Some people say maybe more intelligent than most humans, or some humans at least, you know? So there could be some kind of energy of strategy or mastermind energy to make this growth actually come into the reality, or to deal with these changes that are taking place. Some of you guys could see a lot of viral growth if you do social media, or maybe you take clients, or you produce services. Maybe you own a restaurant, or you own a storefront where you get a lot of business coming in. There's some kind of growth that happens on the 4th week of November where it might give you some anxiety. You know, we always feel like we're going to feel super special and amazing and wonderful when, you know, all our wishes come true and we get like 1 million clients in one day, and, you know, or we hit like 1 million views on a video or something like that. Like, we always feel like, oh, it's going to be amazing. But actually there's a lot of anxiety that comes with that kind of growth that quickly. It's like, you know, going to sleep a prince and then waking up finding out that no, actually now you're going to be king, or you're going to be queen. It's like, whoa, that's a lot to process, you know, in just a couple short hours. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting. So this anxiety, it's there, but it's like, it's kind of good that it's there, because it means something very positive is taking place. All right, I'm back. So yeah, there's something here where whatever changes are taking place really quickly, whatever results you're having, because we see achievement and success with the fruit, right? The fruit, the harvest has come in. This has changed a lot of things of what you were thinking about something or where you're going. I'm hearing my big break. Okay, so I feel like for some of you guys, there could be something where you've been waiting for this moment. You've been waiting for this big break. You've been waiting for this viral success. You've been waiting for this growth, because it's your big break. It's like the last piece of the puzzle. It's what you needed to make something happen here. I'm hearing I can finally move forward, or I can finally invest. I can finally do that. So I'm getting the energy of rounding back once you get this success to do something that you weren't able to do until you had this success. I don't know. That's for somebody here. Okay. I'm getting like somebody like sailing in a ship and like busting a Yui. Which is probably a very hard feat, right? In a ship to bust a Yui, but I'm getting somebody busting a Yui because they get like the call or the answer, or they get like the message that they've been waiting for, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is it, you know? There's something like that. Maybe you've produced some work, or you presented some work to somebody, maybe some music, or maybe something you've written, maybe something you've done. Maybe you pitched an idea, or you had a business meeting or something. Okay? It's like getting the approval, or getting the call, or getting the recognition. That's what I'm getting for the 4th week. Also, for some of you who've been waiting for a check, specifically, you already know that this check is coming. It's just a matter of when. This is not for everybody, but there could be energy of like you were almost giving up and deciding to like go do this instead, or go get a job, or start work again, or something like that. And then bam, this check comes in. You pull in and pull out of that parking lot for that job interview. That's for somebody. That's not for everybody. It's like somebody was on the way to do something because they didn't think that they had any other choice. And now when this comes in, they have a choice now. I don't know why that message is coming through. I guess we'll just have to wait till we get there, huh? Because I don't know. But there's definitely a change here, you know, and we're seeing this with the goldfish. So some of you guys could quite literally be seeing a lot of abundance coming in. And it's unfolding, right? It's like it was always meant to take place, or always meant to happen. It was just going to happen in its own time, okay? So I want to clarify a couple things. I want to clarify the anxiety, but I also want to clarify the evolve into your complexity. And I'm also curious about this change. So let's do the change first. What's changing for Gemini this 4th week of November? Why is this change out here the 4th week of November? Okay, so we have the Page of Cups. So you've been dreaming. You've been scheming, you know? Page of Cups is somebody who's, you know, he dares to dream. It's like the energy of somebody who has, you know, a wish for themselves, or they're trying to get their work out there. They're trying to get their talent out there. You know, they're trying to, it's almost like wishful thinking is kind of what it can be. There's another tarot deck, the Light Seers Tarot. That's one of my favorite tarot decks. But the Page of Cups on that deck has a pig with wings at the top, signifying that like whole phrase of like, when pigs fly, this will happen. So maybe you've been a starving artist, or maybe you've been somebody just trying to get recognized, or maybe you've been just, you know, putting in all this effort, just hoping that something will take place, right? It's funny because the ancestors sitting over here and they're like, you know, they got their back to them and they're looking out the stream, but their heads turn. And it just always gives me the feeling of like, there they go, dreaming again, or they're never going to give up on that goal. They're never going to give up on that painting that they're making. It's something like that, you know? It's something where you were really trying, you had a vision Gemini, is what I'm getting. Okay, you had a vision for yourself. What's changing is this vision is becoming more realized here. We're seeing something. We're seeing tangible results here. What does this evolve into your complexity? Why is that here for the 4th week of November, please? Oh, okay. We have the Fool with the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah, it's like there's something maybe where, because when I look at the Page of Pentacles, sometimes I get that Jack of all trades, master of none saying. And I feel like that's what it is. Like, you have some talents, you have some skills, you have some things that may be untapped potential with the snake. Alert, okay? Untapped potential that you haven't reached into. You're being asked to dive into that. So there could be an opportunity or something that comes your way the 4th week. This might even be with your already existing job or existing company. Like, your boss could pop their head into your office or something and be like, hey, Gemini, I know that you don't normally do this around here, but would you consider doing this, this, and that? And then you find out you have some kind of talent for that, and this actually opens you up to a new job opportunity or gives you more skills or something like that. But this is a card of potential for me with the Page of Pentacles, and the Fool talks about a new beginning or jumping into something, right? So I do feel like that's what this is saying with this evolve into your complexity. It's like you have more talent, skills, potential available to you than you may realize. Maybe you just need to put on your thinking cap with the octopus, think outside of the box. If you feel like you've been stuck in a situation, you're not, right? You will be able to evolve past this, which is funny because on the 3rd week of November, we see the caterpillar, and the caterpillar can definitely feel confined at certain points in its life, especially when it's in the cocoon. It's in there now. There's not much it can do, right? But it will be able to break free eventually. And there's that energy here with this, like breaking free. So I like that. What are they feeling anxious about? Is it just, you know, just everything? Is it anxiousness, just the sparkle of life, right? I feel like you're anxious about your next steps moving forward, right? There's a lot of maybe intrusive thoughts that are coming to you, right? The Knight of Swords. It does feel like that. It feels like this is you, Gemini. It doesn't feel like this is anything coming from the outside. It feels like it's your own mind battling that, battling the maybe self-limiting beliefs or maybe the fears or the apprehensiveness, especially if you are jumping into something new. Like, you need to bat away these negative thoughts that maybe you're having about yourself, right? Also, I guess it could be other people too. Maybe other people's opinions and thoughts about you or whatever you're doing, like needing to battle those. But it does feel like it's more self-focused. And the Two of Wands, that's talking about a choice that we need to make, right? Twos always talk about choice, but the Wands talk about action. So a choice in action. And I feel like there's something here where you are ready to expand with that world and move forward on the 4th week of November. But how? You know, how? How can we do this? It feels almost like there is some kind of missing link. What does this unfolding say? It says access to greater prosperity is opening up for you now slowly. You are growing as you learn more and keep expanding. Yeah, so it's like as this unfolds, the more information and clarity you get. But being in classic Gemini, we like to know everything right off the bat. We like to know steps A through Z before we even attempt to start walking, right? So there is this something here where you're still going to have faith. Sorry, right? Spoiler alert. Okay, you're still going to have faith. You're still going to have to believe. And trust in the whole situation of everything. But yeah, Gemini, that's what this is feeling like. It's feeling like you're battling your own thoughts about this success, about this change, about these results, okay? Yeah, you're thinking about something. You're having a lot of judgment over something, right? Queen of Pentacles, maybe your status, your stance, how secure you'll be, the security that you're growing. Like if you get a whole bunch of money at once or something, for some of you, you need to get a financial advisor. Or maybe you need to create a will, right? Or maybe you need to, set up a trust fund or, you know, put some money in savings or get some stocks and bonds. I don't know, whatever rich people be doing in this bitch, okay? Maybe there's something that you need to do, like invest in something, invest in your future. You're thinking about that. You're anxious about this, okay? Yeah, Nine of Pentacles. It does feel like some kind of luxury or some kind of abundance comes in. And it's like now we have to think about this, right? And the truth of the situation is that, oh, guess what? I am going to be successful. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Maybe some of you guys were felt like you would settle for second fiddle here. I don't know. That's not for everybody, but that's the kind of feeling I'm getting. Like, oh, I guess we'll just settle for second fiddle. I guess we'll just settle for mediocre. Guess we'll just settle for I'm making it. That's enough, right? But actually, you're meant to be more than just making it. You're meant to be wildly successful or have this achievement here. Interesting. Okay, I don't want to just leave the reading like that. Seems like, you know, not great. Seems like a love song that's halfway finished. So we're going to finish this out with the Moonology. I don't know. I had a dream about the full moon last night, so it was interesting. So maybe that's why we're in this vibe. Okay, let's see. Final and additional messages, advice, final additional messages, please. Advice and additional messages for Gemini for November. Oh, okay. We have adjustments are required. I'm so not shocked to see that card because I feel like that's what this whole month is about, right? Like we're adjusting to new things. Yes. As the energy gains momentum, the waxing moon. You know, we're adjusting to the changes, we're adjusting to the pace, we're adjusting to the growth, you know, like it's like a yo-yo effect. Like sometimes we're going fast, sometimes we're going slow, but we're always adjusting. We're always going with the ebb and flow of what's happening, right? We have don't let your pride get in the way, full moon in Leo. So maybe with the anger, maybe with somebody who's not been being real, maybe with a situation that we need to let go of, you know, we've been harboring negative energies or anger or bitterness, sadness or rejection or whatever. It's like, don't let your pride get in the way. It's not that deep. Okay, it's not that deep is what Spirit's saying. We can let go of it now, okay? Also, don't let your pride get in the way if you're afraid to stumble and fall, because I feel like you might be asked on the 4th week to do something new, and you might be like, no, I don't want to fail in front of people. Failure is not going to happen. I'm going to let you know that right now, Gemini. But also, failure is not necessarily the worst thing that can happen in life, especially when you look at failure as if it doesn't exist and it's just a learning moment. Because everybody learns, everybody stumbles, everybody falls, everybody comes up a little short sometimes. It's all good. All right, what else do we have here for Gemini gang? Advice and additional messages. We have a look at the bigger picture, the full moon in Sagittarius. Yeah, I feel like you are being asked to look at the bigger picture for a lot of things. Because we've covered a lot in this reading. It's been a very in-depth, detailed reading. So, you know, if you're letting something go, look at the bigger picture. If you're moving on to something new, look at the bigger picture. If you're seeing the changes in your life, right, look at the bigger picture. If you find out somebody's been betraying you or been deceitful, look at the bigger picture. You know, if you're being asked to change and try something new, look at the bigger picture. There's something here about gaining perspective. And the Sagittarius is sage energy for me, right? It's wisdom. So there's something here where you're gathering wisdom from taking a higher perspective. We have the fixed moon, hold your vision. Okay. That's interesting because we have over here, 3rd quarter moon with the fixed moon, hold your vision. It's like if I was able to put these together, they would fit and make a perfect moon. So maybe while you are meant to kind of hold your vision for what you want ultimately, like ultimately I want to be successful, ultimately I want to be happy and healthy, but there might be adjustments on how we actually achieve that. So you don't have to give up on your dreams, even if you take a different course, okay? What else do we have here for Gemini gang? Advice and additional messages. We have the energy is gaining momentum, the waxing moon, it wanted to come back out. Advice and additional messages. We have a time to give rather than take, the new moon in Virgo, and that came out with you and your loved ones are safe, the new moon in Cancer, right? So some of you guys are learning healthy boundaries for sure, right? But there's something here about self-worth and being willing to receive, being willing to give. Okay, there's some kind of balance there that's taking place. But also, I feel like with the protection that we saw, like Spirit is saying that you're protected, that you're safe. You and your loved ones are safe. You don't need to stress about anything. Let's get one more. One more. What is this? A win-win outcome is forecast. That's like the perfect last card, right? Yes, you're going to be all right. Like, you know, somehow, some way. It's like everything is going to work out exactly as it should, Gemini, okay? All right, well, that has been your reading, okay? I do hope that it helps, hope it resonates, hope it does something. Yeah. And I will definitely see you guys on the next one. Bye.